This is going to be one of those somewhat uncomfortable videos that is similar to the do not sync videos, but don't worry, there's going to be a hopeful, optimistic message by the end of it. Okay, so I'm not here to just rain on everybody's parade. But one of the recent videos I put out on my channel, I showed you guys my royalties from Germany, and it had that over $2,500 placement. But more importantly, and one of the main reasons why I put that video out was to show you all the smaller placements, okay? 19 out of the 28 placements I received from Germany on that statement were under $1. So I wanted you guys to see that because a lot of people, especially in the first couple of years in the industry, when you get your royalty checks, you're going to get a royalty check and you'll get maybe just those 19 placements or those type of placements, right? 19 cents, 38 cents, 1 penny, which was one of the ones I had on that statement. I wanted you guys to see that. That's where a lot of people start off in this business. And because that's really discouraging, maybe in the beginning, it makes people feel like this is just not worth it. What am I doing? Why am I putting all this effort in? Well, this is exactly what I just received from one of my email subscribers, which, by the way, if you're not on my email list, you should get on it. There's a link in the description box below. I got some really cool stuff coming your guys' way in the next couple of weeks, including a free SyncEdge video. So a free SyncEdge music library recommendation, one of those videos that only the paying members get. If you're on my email list, you're going to get free access to it. It's not even going to be here on YouTube, so make sure you guys do join. But this subscriber had a great email. It was kind of lengthy, actually, but basically he was making this case that, you know, Jesse, I appreciate the transparency, but boy, like all that work you put into your career and, you know, I can't imagine the thousands of hours you've done into it. How does it feel to get a 1 penny placement and a 25-cent placement and a, you know, $1.48 placement? Doesn't that feel like a big slap in the face? And, you know, he was talking about for himself, like, why would I go spend all my time creating tons and tons of music for an industry that might pay me out a penny at the end of all of it? Like, it's so much work, it's so much risk, and there's no guarantee that on the other end, things are going to work out and then I'm actually going to get my thousands of dollars in my royalties or, you know, kind of the bigger placements you've been showcasing. And here's where a little bit of the, you know, dour, somber reality is going to kick in. This subscriber, this producer is 100% correct, and I agree with him, 100%, okay? It is a lot of work. It took a lot of work from me to get to where I am, and I sacrificed a lot. My social life in my 20s was very, very much sacrificed as a result of me always saying, no, can't go to the party. No, can't go on that trip. No, I'm not going to do this. I really want to work on the sync thing. I really want to build up my catalog. I really want to get this thing going. I just love doing it. It wasn't so much about me feeling obligated to do it, but this was just where my joy in life was. So I felt like, well, socializing is fun. I'll do a little bit, but most of my time, I got to focus on this kind of stuff. And there was no guarantee for me. Is this going to work out? Is it not? I had no idea. I had a belief. I had faith in myself. I said, okay, I see some placements coming in. They're not a lot. You know, my first one was 14 cents, but that was enough for me to see, okay, it's actually working. But this producer is absolutely right. It was tons and tons of work, so much risk. Not really sure if the libraries I was working with were actually going to be able to get me the placements and to secure full-time income. Some of them were hyping me up on saying, dude, you're going to be a multimillionaire. You've got some great music and we're going to get you placed all over the place. I was definitely being fed a lot of encouraging, if you want to call that encouragement, but it was obviously something that I was desperate to hear. So I was believing it. And so I just kind of kept going forward. But yeah, no guarantees at all. And you guys watching this subscriber and everybody, you need to know that you could pour the next 5 years of your life into sync licensing and create the best music, the highest quality, the highest quantity you can possibly do, working with the best companies, having the best relationships, sending only the most relevant music to the best companies and all that good stuff. You could do everything 100% correctly. Zero guarantee any of that's going to result in any money for you at all. I can't guarantee that. Nobody can guarantee that. Okay, if you're looking for the guarantee for that, sorry, you're not going to get it from this channel. That's not what I do. In fact, I try to do something a little bit more like the opposite of that, where I say, here's the path in front of you. I try to shine a light on it because that's the path that I drove down and that I walked down. And here's where it's going to make you want to give up. You're going to get passed over. You're going to get rejected. You're going to have royalties that make you want to jump out the window. You're going to start to hate music sometimes. You're going to get writer's block, et cetera, et cetera. We've talked about it 1,000 times. So I want you guys to know that if you're following at least my guidance in my videos and what we're doing here, that you at least know there's a realistic challenge and a very, very daunting journey ahead of you in this business. And maybe some of you are already on it right now. Maybe a lot of you guys are already on it. So you can probably verify that, yeah, there's some great sides of this. There's some exciting sides, but there's some really challenging sides. So this is kind of what I wanted to, I responded to this producer, but the reason why I wanted to make a video out of this topic is because I want you guys all to get this as well. So this is how I responded to him. I said, you're absolutely correct. Maybe sync licensing isn't for you. I totally get it. But do me a favor, because it sounds like you're not interested in doing lots and lots of hard work, and you're looking for a guarantee of results at the end. If you ever find something for music creators or producers or artists that has minimal effort and has a guarantee that things are going to work out and that either placements are going to happen or income or sales or streaming or whatever, you got both of those things lined up, I'm going to fly you out and stay in my house for a week because I want to pay you thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to teach me what you know, where you found this, how is it possible, because I'm going to use it for myself, and then I'm going to teach everybody that follows me this sure thing that has a guarantee that doesn't take that much work. I'd love to find it. Obviously, a little tongue-in-cheek, it doesn't exist. We all know that that is just not something that exists, not just in this music business, but in life. Anything that is worth doing, anything that is worth pursuing, usually is hard. It's difficult, like life. Life is just a really, really tough thing. But I told him, I want you to realize that if you are not interested in sync, don't do sync. Like the email he wrote was really, really long and almost like a lawyer's version of just arguing and this and this and this and because of that and because of that. Almost like it's like, are you trying to talk me out of sync licensing? Because sorry, brother, you're not going to do that after 15 years and the results I'm seeing now, especially with my new placements and royalties. You can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm in right now. I'm kind of religiously tied to sync licensing. There's no budging for me, okay? But if you're doing it to convince yourself, that's maybe what my hunch was. Is this producer maybe saw that there was some potential in sync, maybe got disheartened from that video that I put out, and it's like, well, I have to now kind of convince myself that this is really not the right thing. So maybe that's kind of what he was doing, and that's totally cool. But I want you guys to save your time and save your effort and don't do that. Like, don't send me long emails with a big argument as to why sync licensing isn't the right move. If you don't think it's right for you, God bless you. That's cool. Like, I agree with you. Like, if you know that it's not right for you, then I agree with you. It's not right for you because you're making that decision. You know yourself better than I ever will. And you can just make those adult decisions for yourself. So you don't have to go out of your way to try to, convince yourself or try to convince me or anything like that. So I just wanted everybody to watch this to realize that, this producer is 100% correct. That you're going to really potentially start hating music and life as a result of this business. And that's not just like, hyperbole. That's how I felt many times in this industry. Okay. So you need to know that ahead of you is this daunting task that's going to be very, very difficult to achieve. But because of that, right, here's the optimistic twist to it all. Because it's difficult, because there's no guarantee, because it's going to take almost everything out of you to, thrive and do well in this business, it is extremely, extremely rewarding. Okay, it really, really, really is. The fruits of this are very sweet. It's an extremely sweet taste when you start to see royalties coming in, streaming coming in, placements building up on top of each other, relationships building, people out of the blue calling you up, asking for music for custom opportunities, which happened in my career a few times. It is like nothing else to know that you've got a professional gig, you are a professional music creator, professionally serving a very, very great marketplace. Okay. So you need to know that it's definitely worth it. But with that comes a lot of work. And one of the big affirmations that I've been kind of really quietly repeating to myself, especially as becoming a recently new father, is I can do hard things. I can do hard things. I do hard things all the time. And sometimes they feel overwhelming. They feel like I can't get through this. How am I going to, achieve this? How am I going to get through this writer's block? How am I going to deal with whatever I'm dealing with my two daughters, right? But going back to that kind of reprogramming my mind and going, you know what, this is hard, but I can do hard things. Like that's the little voice attitude I have in my head when I can remember to get back to it. I don't always, but when I am really struggling, I go like, oh, I'm tired. I don't know. Do I feel like making this video? And I go, I can do hard things. What am I talking about? And it just kind of like resets me and puts me in a really much more empowered position to get forward, to move forward with whatever I'm doing. So for you guys that are really, really pushing forward with sync licensing, create your own affirmation. You're going to need it. Trust me. If you don't have one now and you think, it's all wishy-washy, hokey-pokey, hippy-dippy stuff, I don't want any of that. All right, well, God bless you. Hope it doesn't, hope you don't find yourself in a situation that I was in. But if you do, hopefully there's a little bit of a seed that I planted here in this video so that you can realize you're not powerless. You don't have to just sit there and succumb to these overwhelming emotions of not wanting to keep going. You can do something about that. And it's sometimes as simple as repeating literally a phrase over and over again. I know that affirmations, people want to go a little bit more on. They're like, I will make full-time income with sync licensing. And if that works for you, do it, go for it. But for me, it's like, well, I'm going through something difficult right now and I need to get through this difficult thing. So what can I say that doesn't feel like it's an oversell to myself, but it gives me like the energy and the dedication and the determination to get through this tough thing. And for me, I can do hard things. So whatever it is for you, you can steal that one, use it all you want. I think I stole it. I don't remember who I stole it from, but definitely we're all stealing these things from each other. So just use it if it's going to be helpful for you. So, all right, rant over. Just want to let you guys know about this. Thank you so much for all of you that replied my emails. I love getting those. That's what sparks these kind of cool, interesting videos, and it hopefully is helpful for all of you. So if you're on my email list and something I say or some email I put out there is really interesting to you, reply. I read and respond to pretty much every single reply I get from those emails. So I'd love to hear from you guys.